I've been talking a lot about the observer self and the normal self. Like there's two separate entities in us. One can observe the other one. There's another kind of bifurcation that I've noticed in me. My normal everyday self and the creative aspect, the writer, the musician. To me, that's a separate entity. Let's talk about it. I realized when I was writing love anguish poems that I had a real facility with that. That just, 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. Just suddenly it was there. It wasn't anything that I inculcated. The way that I see it, I had another entity or developed in a way that I have two. Myself and the writer. And the writer is the smart one. It says things that are beyond me, that I've never heard before. Often things occur through the writer that have never appeared in the world before, anywhere. It's not just copy and paste, it's something really extraordinary. So as I became aware of this voice, I began to follow it, allow it, whatever it needed. Writing to me is intrinsic to practice. It developed along with it, or it began instructing me when I became fluid enough. The page revealed much about the nature of human life and my relation to others. My writing voice knew things, saw things I was oblivious to. It was better than me. So courageous. How many times in my life it spurned me on, fanned the flames. I was reading a lot of autobiographical novels at the time. Got something I gotta do. Came up all of a sudden. Important work. I know you're keen on learning all about writing and Zen. And me too, me too. But kids first. Beyond the provocation, this new thing occurring in me established a new paradigm. I was both teacher and student, life providing the context. It was important for me to have experiences and translate them to the run-on sentences of my life. As I grew older, it became something profound. I find that the writer's self doesn't have boundaries of social constraints or time. Often things will appear out of order or presage things that will only make sense years later. I can read back through the years and see its impeccable structure. Because it is impeccable, I've learned to give it free rein, complete freedom to express anything in any way. It always comes first. It drives me to take challenges, endure hardships, all for the story, the wisdom that I will gain. And the intensity only increases. The writer needs a distraction, a busy environment in the background. It works best with pen and paper. I've got piles of notes everywhere. Since I've been in Korea, I've made the transition to writing in the forest. It works the same way. Though I enjoy being out in the woods, when I'm writing, everything is blanked out. Sometimes the flow of information is too fast. These days, I often use a voice recorder just to get things down. I got this idea from Michael Keaton. He was ahead of his time.
Tuna fish. What if you mix mayonnaise right in the can with the tuna fish? Hold it! Hold it! Wait a minute, Chuck! Take live tuna fish and feed them mayonnaise. Oh, this is good. Call Starkist.
It's hard to remember what my life was like before. The first glimmer of art was in my art class at high school, but it really became something when I learned the guitar. It was my introduction into the arts. I quickly went from learning other people's songs to writing my own, finding a pattern, something that just occurs while you're exploring the fretboard. The pattern repeats and it becomes music. Though I still play guitar and compose, I stepped away from it largely because it's too vague to describe something perfectly. The things that I was witnessing, what I was processing, was too enormous to be described through the tones and colors and harmonies and melodies. Just as scientists write their discoveries down rather than turning them into verse, I needed the page.